All right, we're live. Another episode of Monero Talk. This is a good one. I never had so many guests on. I think we have do we have the entire Monerujo team on?
Yeah,
not really.
So.
We
are missing?
So disorganized.
You're decentralized.
Well, Diego is part of the team as well.
Okay, Diego. Yep, I've had him on before. What role does Diego play? He helps with, I guess, building the website and stuff.
Yeah, that's correct.
Yeah, that's what he said. What he does, and it's also like the glue of the team. You know, he moderates us, and he's the guy that comes with news from outside of the team.
Okay.
Proposals, and takes stuff that we think about, and we takes back to the Monero community or the core team.
Like that seems to be his overall role in the community, which is really essential. He's a good connector, brings everybody together. So if you guys want to each introduce yourselves, I think that'd be a good start. I know we have Andre. Is it Dimitri and Gustav or Dimi?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. And how'd you guys come together?
Oh yeah.
Dimi first.
Me first. Okay. So I started off with this project because everyone was going on, oh, we need an Android wallet for Monero. And I started looking at it, and then started it, and at some point it was finished. Well, at least had a first version running. And then Rera said, oh, look, I've got these designers. They're really cool. And that's how we got together. So Rera is the...
Rera, okay.
Yeah,
it's the fixer.
What year was that when you first launched an Android wallet?
Sorry?
What year was that when you guys first launched?
Last year.
Okay.
Last year in August was the very first version.
Mm-hmm.
It was still a very view-only version because I was really scared that something would go wrong and people would lose stuff. So the first couple of versions were view-only, and then testnet spending only. But everything worked out really well.
And you guys were the first mobile wallet, right? I mean, because Cake didn't come out till after on iOS, right?
Yes.
What was the timeline? Right? I think for a while it was just you guys in terms of mobile.
Yes, we were for a long time, and everyone was going on about, we want iOS, make iOS. We looked into it, but it's so different. And I'm quite glad someone else is doing the iOS stuff because personally, I'm not an iOS person. A long time ago, I was a Mac person with 20 years ago, maybe, but none of the iOS stuff today, no.
So what role does each of you play? What's the breakdown?
So the others may talk.
I'm the CEO. No.
We need titles. Better titles.
Yeah, well, we have titles on the team page.
Yeah, but you are the CEO.
No, I'm the lead designer apparently. So, but I helped Dimitri. He needed help with the design, so Rera hooked us up, and when was that? Right, 2 years ago or something? I don't know. You know, Dimitri? Dimi?
Oh, does he hear you?
No, I don't think so.
No, 1 year only.
1 year.
1 year. Okay.
It's a long time.
Yeah. Can you hear me, guys?
You know, I knew both of your work before entering the Monerujo team, because I used the first version of Monerujo, that it was all black with white text, something like that. I remember before Gustav did his magic, and I knew Gustav, your mockup for a Monero wallet.
Yeah.
That I saw on Behance, I think it was.
Yeah, that's correct.
I like it. And I didn't know it was you until.
Oh, okay, you did.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did that because I needed something in my portfolio. But I was a long time lurker in Monero community before, so I didn't done anything for the Monero until then when I posted that.
So are you guys all Monero people at heart, or what was your kind of your trajectory? How did you get to Monero land? Did you guys all start in Monero land? Did you come from Bitcoin land?
I've never touched anything except Monero, except when I was forced to use Bitcoin a couple of weeks ago on the HCPP.
It was a crypto version. Yes.
What, really? You didn't touch Bitcoin.
But I came relatively late to the whole crypto stuff. After a friend of mine said, "Oh, crypto is the next thing, and blockchain can be used for everything." So I started researching that and said, "Okay, actually, Monero is the thing, and it's the thing for humanity, for bringing us forward." And that's the reason why I'm actually doing it. It's not about investing or stuff like that, but it's I think it's important for us as humans to move on.
Why did you do why Monero compared to Zcash or Bitcoin? Why do you think it's fulfilling the tenets of what crypto is supposed to be?
Well, it's all these anonymity, privacy features which allow you to do whatever you feel is right and whatever you want to do. And one really major aspect for me was also the way that community acted. When you go on Reddit and you ask a stupid question, it gets answered in a proper manner. It was just incredible. And if you compare it to the other communities, it's just a completely different world. So it was just the community was just incredible. And so for me, that was also an aspect which moved me towards Monero. Say, okay, there may be other privacy coins out there which may or may not meet the goals, but this community is it, and this total decentralization at the heart of this project. So for me, it was clear that this was it.
Yeah, I think people are if they haven't already, starting to realize how important the community component is, especially what we're seeing, what's going on in Bitcoin. I mean, I get Bcash was last year, but now we're kind of reliving that nightmare with the split in Bcash itself. And really, I guess it's just a flaw in being able to hold the community together is what it comes down to. I mean, it's not just about the technology, but it's about trying to get a large majority of the community to kind of share some fundamental beliefs, I think, right? Because Monero, I mean, there's arguments to be made that something like Zcash might have, in terms of technology, superior privacy, right? Ignoring the fact that it's opt-in and that it's not truly fungible, but just the zero knowledge proof aspects, But Monero, what it has going for it is its ability to evolve and be true to always trying to be private and fungible. So even if things like ring signatures might not be the best way of doing things, I guess the idea is we could evolve and change as long as we're all on the same ship and agreeing that it's about privacy and fungibility.
Yeah,
I don't know, is what I'm starting to realize as we go further and further along.
Yeah.
I think most of that is by design. I mean, the same way that you have to design the cryptocurrency itself with X features and it allows privacy in this way, you also have to, in a way, design the community. And the incentives and the way the Monero community is organized incentivize that this works like the way it does right now. And it's very different from Zcash, for example. So I think in the long run, it makes it much more probable that it works for me. And it's not just a technical issue, it's a people issue.
Right. Right. the technology could always be evolved and changed. The hard part is kind of keeping the community together. I feel like is what.
Yeah, because it's the community, the one that evolves the technology as well.
Right.
So I tell you from firsthand. By the way, the Monerujo team works itself, but everything else that I've seen, the work that Diego does, and Justin as well with communication, and you. And a lot of people that is more perhaps technical, and just like Dimi said, you enter the. I learned about Bitcoin in 2012. A friend of mine told me, "Oh, this is the best thing ever. Here you have, like, I give you 0.005 Bitcoins. It's like 5 cents. Forget about it. Learn it." I was like, "Oh, this is really cool," and I forget about it for 5 years or something, and then I realized, oh, the thing now is like $1,000. So I entered Reddit and started reading all the cryptocurrency that there are, and it's like that. When you enter the Monero subreddit, you immediately know that it's something different. The way that people respond to you, the way that they don't want to talk about price on the main subreddit, it's not just a post. It's not empty. It really, I think, in time, it starts to shape the interaction that people have about this.
So, Andre, your story was a little different. Were you originally a Bitcoin guy?
I was. I wish.
No. Bitcoin millionaire.
Yeah, I wish. And no, I just learned. I started. I knew Bitcoin first. Really, like 2012, something like that. It was like weird internet matching money. I thought it was really cool as a concept. I never bought any of that. Sadly, I should have like sell the house or something. But but no, really. I when I started to read about it just last year, like in 2017, and right in the beginning, I'm Argentinian. You know, I live in Argentina, and when you get to the Monero like fundamentals and the stuff about privacy, it's very, especially fungibility, it's very clear for somebody that doesn't live like in the first world country, especially when it regards to banking and money and stuff. What's the advantage of Monero and why it's important? As much as possible to make it, bring it. It really is different from everything else that I've seen.
We're hearing some background noise there. I don't know which.
Oh, sorry. Is it me?
Might be. But Gustav, what? Oh, now we can't hear you at all.
No,
I shut myself down. Censored myself.
So, how about, what's your story, Gustav? What's
I have guests here, so but I'm leaving now.
Okay.
No.
Tell them to get lost.
How my story began, I don't know actually. I'm living in the now right now, but I was reading upon Bitcoin 2013 maybe. I don't know actually. But I worked as a cashier then, so I had some money left. So I at the cashier I just started calculate how much Bitcoin I would like to buy. It was $100 or something. Yeah, but it's too much. It's too much. So then I just ignored it and lived on my life. then I saw the price and everything. So, but no, but I have been lurking a lot in Monero community. I just read upon it like in 2 years or 1 year, and then I thought for myself, okay, they need a designer or something. So I posted this mock-up that Andres talking about. That way I got into the Monero community. But it's easy to get into Monero community. You don't have to do flashy mock-ups.
Yeah, it's true open source community, right?
Yeah, it's just flow. Go with the flow.
Yeah, I've experienced the same thing with doing the show. I mean, you know, we just started doing this out of nowhere, and anyone we've contacted to come on has been, you know, eager and welcoming. It's been great. So Dimitri, getting into the wallet itself, I saw a talk that I think you recently did, where you talked about UX and usability. What do you see as like kind of the mission of Monerujo, like, or the vision, or like the core tenets of the wallet itself? What are you guys most focused on when you're building this thing? And am I pronouncing it correctly? How do you pronounce it? It's Monerujo, right?
Monerujo.
Monerujo. Okay.
I can't pronounce.
I don't speak Esperanto. It's. Are you guys all fluent Esperanto speakers?
That was the first time when I entered this team. Can we change the name? I can't pronounce it.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter how you pronounce it, as long as you use it. We're fine with that.
I thought the whole point of Esperanto was supposed to be something everyone could speak, but it apparently doesn't apply to me.
Yeah, we see how well that works out, but we're doing our best.
After I learned it was Monerujo and not Monerujo.
Our mission vision is a kind of basically want to give a tool to people to use Monero as much as possible. That's it, because we believe in the idea, we believe in the community, we believe in this project. And so it's a good thing that we picked Android, because that has a huge market share of mobile, and so we can reach as many people as possible. We're also reaching the people who are in those parts of the world which actually need more of this project. So that's another great aspect which turns out pretty well, and that's what we're trying to do. We are trying to make it look sexy. Well, they are. I'm trying to make it. I'm trying to make it work, and it's just incredible work that the designers have made. It's just incredible. It's just totally not my thing. So it's not enough to give someone a tool. The tool has to be usable, because if it's crap, it's just crap, and that's not what we want. So again, the idea is to give as many people as possible the opportunity to use Monero wherever they are, in a decentralized manner, in an anonymous manner, and in a private manner, in the spirit of Monero, which, as you said, we had a talk about the UX UI for anonymous users, which has a whole set of problems. We cannot spy on the users. We don't want to spy, let's put it that way, on the users. So we just
sounds better, yes.
Do it, of course. Yeah, we could, of course, if we wanted, but we really don't, and we just don't do that.
Well, you explain that a little bit, because you mean like with the typical app, I guess an app developer would be watching how people use it in order to learn how to improve it. Is that what you mean?
Okay. Yes. So we can record what the clicks do, how people use the screens, how often they use it, maybe what amounts they spend, in what time intervals, all kind of stuff like this. And this is something we don't want to do.
Mm-hmm.
And so basically we try to do the best we can, and then see who complains. So one of our common design principles is we design it as best as we think we can. The team is pretty well put together as well, because we have completely different views on the way the app should function. So I think we've got a pretty good solution. And then sometimes people do complain, and then we get together and we say, oh, actually, yeah, they're right, and we should fix that. And then Andres goes away and comes back with an article with cartoons explaining what the idea behind it is. And if that doesn't help, then we send Gustav off to come up with sexy colors to make it work better.
Yeah, we're designing.
I have to make sure it can be implemented in the end, because well, yeah.
Go ahead, Gustav.
Poor Dimi. Yeah.
I'm lagging behind. I see this screen lagging. But yeah. We are designing in the blind. I mean, if we were a company or like 10-man team or something, we should do usability tests and research and personas and everything. But here is like just do it. And Dim is really good developer, so he does it live often, but in a secure way.
I remember when there was the thing to add the accounts and sub addresses, that we were so right in the cutting edge, the bleeding edge of what was being developed for the Monero GUI. I think I don't know if we were like at the same time or almost first. So we know that accounts, for example, and sub addresses were important, were something that we could implement and people could use. But I remember that we don't have any idea how they will use it. There was no idea how they will call it, if it was accounts versus addresses versus this is like sub wallets or whatever. So at the end, we discuss a lot. We have to just guess and post an alpha build or a beta build and watch Reddit and expect all the shit storm that could happen. And then when it doesn't happen, we were like, okay, good work. Until then, we have no idea. We have no idea if this is a real case use scenario. And regarding the UX, also the UI, the design itself, many times, for example, Dimi has like great ideas of implementing new stuff, and we don't know how people will use it in the future. So we are just preoccupied with, okay, this has to work like at least at a base level, and then we will see, and we will shape it afterwards. Like, okay, it doesn't make sense even for ourselves as users. Okay, we are like having to click 3 times to get back to the screen. It doesn't make any sense. Just put an arrow there and go back. So at first it looks ugly, but works. That's Dimi's part. It works. And it's safe. The first time, first priority, it has to be safe. Nobody has to lose their money.
Right.
We don't want any complaint. Your party just got way better. Nobody has to lose any money. We don't want people to post in Reddit like, I had my Monero and it's gone. So this is first. Then, okay, you can actually use the new feature. And like in third time, it comes like, well, okay, it looks nice. It's usable. We do many iterations of that.
So what was like the biggest hurdle in working with Monero to create the wallet? Was it I mean, it wasn't an easy task, right? From the get-go. I mean, you guys were the first. What was kind of the biggest hurdle you had to overcome?
I expected it to be much more difficult, but there had been a lot of work already done getting the core to run on Android. So the command line client worked on Android in a special environment. So that part of the work, I was expected to do the most work. But the biggest hurdle was actually integrating the core code into the Android UI. So making an app which uses this code, because the code is completely C++. And the Android development is in Java. So those are two worlds which clash together extremely. And most of I started like in approximately May. So May, June, July, August, 4 months of work on getting this thing working without memory leaks, without it exploding, without it crashing all the time. So that was the biggest hurdle. Once that was set, it was more or less okay. Yeah. It is still every hard fork or every new version of the code changes a lot of stuff. So we have to make sure it still works. And there are also I also contribute a bit, at least, to the Monero project, to the core project, so that my stuff still functions the way it should. Yeah.
Have we seen a lot of other Android wallets now?
Sorry. Personally, I haven't seen any. There's the free wallet that people keep complaining about. I haven't seen that, to be honest. So yes, there are a couple of other Android wallets which are actually services which have backends. So there's nothing that I'm aware of which runs only on your device where you have your keys, they belong to you, and there's no communication to a centralized server which could or could not be compromised. So I think that we're the only thing where we provide a decentralized Android solution for Monero.
So, I mean, you guys have kind of paved the way then, right?
Yes.
For Android.
Yes, and we're having fun doing it.
So what do you see as being kind of the next steps? What's like the next features we could expect?
You can check our roadmap at. I'm just kidding. We don't know actually.
What I've been working on.
You can answer that.
Tell it.
Yeah, our roadmap is really great. No, what I've been working on for the past month quite intensively is getting nodes to be more user-friendly.
Yeah.
One of the biggest support issues is nodes, Monero nodes. What is a Monero node? How do I use the Monero node? The Monero node doesn't work. It doesn't sync. And I've invested a lot of time implementing a completely new approach to nodes. And I presented it to my friends here a couple of days ago, and they bashed it a lot. So we need to figure out.
What do you mean? Can you explain that a little? Can you explain that a little bit? What do you mean? What do you see as the current problem, and what is it that exactly?
The current problem is you need to select a Monero node.
Okay.
And use that. So most users don't operate their own node. So they need to find someone who has one. There are a couple of people who offer nodes. There's also the moneroworld.com nodes, which are also community-operated nodes, which may or may not be there.
Mm-hmm.
So the infrastructure is basically alive, but you need to pick a node. And if the node you just picked doesn't work, then you don't know what's going on. Mm-hmm. So our approach, or our new approach, is the Nodomatic feature, where you can select.
We don't have a
nodes.
name.
Yeah, well, I don't know. We can.
Nodomatic. Yeah.
A working title.
That sounds good.
That's that's the way we come up with names, you know.
Yes.
Yeah. And what would this do?
And what you do is you can select multiple nodes. If you know them, you can enter them into the app. So maybe 2 or 3 or 4 nodes, maybe your own, maybe a node of your friend.
Mm-hmm.
And then when you open your wallet, Monerujo selects the node which has the correct block height, which has a ping time, so it's available. So it would select between these 3-4 nodes the best one for you. If you have no idea which nodes you could use or you could enter, or you don't care, I've implemented the function which scans the entire Monero node network, so maybe 5,000 plus nodes, and finds daemons which also operate a public node. So you get a list of 10 nodes. When you have 10 nodes, and it of course stops scanning the network. And from these 10 nodes that you found, you can select which nodes you may want to put in your list of favorite nodes. And then when you open your wallet, it just selects from these 5-6 nodes, depending on what you've selected. So my hopes are that this will get rid of most of the node problems, because you will have 5-6 favorite nodes. and the system will just pick the best one for you. So the idea is you pick 5-6 nodes which you trust or like, and you never need to think about the node again. So that's the idea there.
But I've seen people talking on Reddit about kind of developing like easy to use plug and play nodes, you know, like little boxes that you could just plug in at home that I guess would, you know, you plug into the internet, you plug into a power source, you don't have to do anything else, and you have like a node running.
That's great. But by testing for example, the Monerujo app with friends that are somewhat used to cryptocurrencies, for example, from Bitcoin, for example, or something like that. At first, they don't even understand why you need a node, right? So they enter the wallet and they are just like, for example, used to Coinbase or something. So they just open and use it. Yeah. And in Monero, and if you want to be decentralized and if you want to do things right, like Dimi said, you have to pick a node. And so the first challenge is and it's not, it goes beyond Monerujo, to educate people that, okay, Monero works with nodes. And you have to have your own node or somebody else's node. And hopefully it's the node for somebody that you trust, right? So otherwise you enter, again, like privacy issues. So our main aim here in Monerujo is to make it like something that you don't have to think about, because we want to keep nodes. We don't want to get rid of the decentralized nature of having a lot of nodes, but we have to crack the UX in a way that it's just a button and the thing does the best for you that you can possibly have. And at the same time, having like an expert use or a pro user be able to enter his own custom written node. So that's difficult. There's also a balance that we have to achieve in all the features. We don't want the beginner mode and the expert mode. We believe. Look at the face that Dim is doing here. He doesn't want settings anywhere. He doesn't want menus anywhere. And it's like you need a tool that is like a hammer, you know, in the hands of somebody that's something and it depends of the carpenter that has in the hand. So it's kind of like that. It's tricky to have like the pro user feature at the same time and the beginner user feature. And if it doesn't work, it's all our fault, me and Gustav here, because Dimi makes it work. But we need to make it work with people, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, no,
but I think Dimi's suggestion was really good. The first, but it has to be tweaked. I mean, it's a very it's not nice experience to have when you download an app and you have to pick a node and learn a new name called Daemon and what's Daemon and yeah, it's not good user experience at all. But it's the same problem everywhere in every crypto community, I think. We are looking at we don't reinvent the wheel perhaps, but I'm for stealing stuff, so I'm looking at Coinbase and there's other couple of wallets that I look at, Hand Cash from Bitcoin Cash, Bcash, whatever you want to name that, and yeah, so there's good stuff out there in the crypto world that you can like steal or tweak a bit in the design. I'm talking about the design now. So.
You guys think we'll ever be at a point where we're running nodes on our phones, where the app itself is a node? I mean, obviously we'd have to really evolve in terms of improving the tech, right? But you think we'll ever get to that point?
It's possible today. It's not a big deal to do it technically. Of course, the phones will need enough space to keep the blockchain. It of course depends how much internet bandwidth you have and how much it costs you. I understand that in most parts of the world, internet is still expensive. So at some point, this may be true. I'm not. How should I say? I don't know enough to say if it's a good thing to do or not in the end. Or if we should have dedicated nodes running somewhere and not people running around with nodes on their phones. It may be, it may be not. I have no idea, because if mobile devices are not very reliable, so you have a lot of unreliable nodes in your network, it might not be so good. Of course, Monero will evolve, and at some point, every car will have a Monero node inside of it.
Yeah, or a malware node infecting everything. Everyone has a Monero node
infecting your fridge. Yeah.
How about the syncing? So you have the nodes. I mean, how is syncing on your app? Does it happen in the background, or it's only when the app is open?
It's way better now.
Yeah.
Is it possible for the app to sync in the background, or you have to open it and wait for it to sync?
The way it's now, it's that the app is open and you have to have your wallet open so that your wallet syncs. You can put the app in the background so you can do other stuff. You see a notification icon that Monerujo is running, and so it keeps up to date and is synced. On the other hand, it's not really such a big issue, because if you have maybe 1 week of a wallet which is not synced for a week, it takes 10 to 15 seconds to sync up the last week. So it's not such a big issue. It's possible to have it running all the time. Again, it keeps scanning all the Monero transactions which come in to make sure, or to test if they are from my own wallet. And it just uses up traffic. It's quite soft on the battery. So the battery is not really much of a big deal, but downloading stuff, yeah.
I notice in general when syncing, Monero wallets, it's like sometimes it seems to be more smooth than others. And I'm not just talking in terms of, waiting a week versus 2 weeks, but even if it's, the same length of time, the same amount of blockchain needs to be uploaded. Why is that? Is it just because of the communication with the nodes?
It's just the communication with the nodes. Maybe the node has more traffic on it. It's really a communication issue. Yeah. Sometimes it takes a minute or two to sync, maybe a week. That can also happen if your node is slow or your internet connection is bad. So yeah, it's nothing that we can control, and it's a little that the node operator can control, actually. So it's just bad luck.
What do you guys think of dedicated hardware wallets, like the Treasure and the Ledger, and maybe those compared to something like your wallet on Android? Do you eventually see those things disappearing, or there's always a space for that? I mean, I can't imagine a world where I have two devices. We have these really powerful computers that are in our pockets at all times. Why wouldn't that become our de facto wallet? It's kind of like when we used to have iPods and phones, and they eventually became one. I mean, is that? Do you think things will go in that direction, or we'll always have these dedicated hardware wallets?
I have no opinion on that, actually. But hardware wallets, I mean, if you store like 1 million on our wallet, you're stupid. Right, Dimitri? Back me up.
He's the PR person,
But will that always be the case? I mean, you don't think we'll ever get to a point where we could have essentially a hardware wallet?
Of course.
Well, the way it's now is that also on Android and the processors which are being used in newer Android devices all have hardware encryption on board. So the way also Monerujo is built since more than half a year is that we use this hardware encryption on board to secure the wallet files. So you can actually copy your wallet files, make backups of your wallet files, and the passphrase, the password that you use for the wallet is not actually the password that you type in, but that's encrypted with a separate encryption key in the hardware device on your phone. So it's kind of like a small hardware wallet, actually, because the encryption that we use is as strong as your seed itself. So the probability that someone will hack your wallet is the same probability as that they will hack your seed. So that's improbable.
Pretty safe.
So we're basically using the hardware features, the security hardware features of the device for the Monerujo wallet. So it is a bit of a hardware wallet as well. Mm-hmm. Of course, software has bugs, hardware has bugs. Apple had a problem with iOS devices where you could read out the hardware keys some months ago. So of course this is possible. The evolution has to continue. And then of course there's the question of the hardware manufacturers, if they have backdoors or not in these devices. This is something nearly impossible to tell. The same applies, though, exactly for Ledger Trezor or whatever else you have. Yeah, we keep experiencing similar things with CPU manufacturers or whatever.
Yeah, we hope to have Purism on next week. Are you guys familiar with them? I'm sure you are.
Yes. We also looked at implementing Monerujo for Purism. And we didn't get very far because we were involved with our further development. But sooner or later, I think we'll end up there as well because it's a great project.
Right, that does seem kind of like the holy grail, like moving towards that point. If a phone wallet were to replace a hardware wallet, maybe it would be something like that, where it's on the what is it called? Their phone, the Libra, the phone that's coming
out. Something, yes.
Yeah. And that's all open source hardware essentially too, right? Isn't that the whole
but they have, as far as I understand it right now, they have a closed source software in there as well. So that's something that may need to be addressed later on. Yeah. So there's an aspect of trust here as well.
Right. But just to further along that point of hardware wallets versus these phone wallets, Trace Mayer had made a good point that's saying that kind of using these hardware wallets like the Trezor and Ledger almost kind of makes you a target, right? Because if you go and buy one of these things, it's known that you're obviously using them to store crypto and potentially large amounts, as opposed to storing it maybe not on a phone but on a computer on using Purism or something where there's other use cases. So it's kind of you're not putting a target on your back, which is an interesting concept. See what else we got.
You also have like the Monero hardware wallet project.
Right. Are you guys involved in that at all?
Yes, the firmware which runs on it now is Monerujo Hardware Edition, and we are only as far as generating a wallet. So we can generate a wallet on the Callisto, the hardware device. And it basically, the last step is you get a QR code of your new Android of your new Monero address.
Oh wow!
But that project has, at least from my side, stalled a bit, and there's a development of a new hardware which is more potent, so it can do more maths. Because it turned out that we need more maths for Monero, and the hardware that was used in the first version is not strong enough to deal with a fast sync. Of course, you have 3 months to sync your wallet, then it would work. Yes, but we don't.
Yeah, when do you think we could expect to see a Monero hardware wallet then? I mean, what are we talking? Like
soon.
Soon.
Of course.
You have to store your wealth in our app. UI.
So how about a desktop wallet?
Desktop Monerujo wallet.
Yeah. Is that something in the works?
No.
Okay.
No.
I appreciate your honesty.
Yeah. No. And iOS? Is it coming? Is it coming iOS?
We should. It's a relative no. It's a relative no, because if we actually want to do something for Purism, we would actually be developing a desktop wallet for Purism.
Yeah.
So, but it would be a rewrite of the whole Monerujo stuff, which could be fun, but we're not finished enough with the core functionality we want to have in order to deal with that. So if we actually get that far, then we could have a desktop wallet. I don't know what the purpose of that would be, because the official GUI is pretty fine, and there's a lot of development going on in that direction. So I would rather concentrate on Android. But if there's something to do, there's something to do. It's not that we want to compete with the core team or something.
Right. That makes sense. And you guys use XMR.to as well? Is that integrated into your wallet?
XMR.to is integrated. Yeah. So you can spend Bitcoin with your Monerujo wallet anywhere. You can convert Monero into cash at any Bitcoin ATM, which is pretty nice.
Do you know if that's being used a lot? Do you have stats on that?
Well, we don't have user tracking, so we don't know.
Right.
I have used it to buy beer, so I know it works.
Just anecdotal stats.
Yes, we have two users to confirm users. I've used it as well. It works very well.
Yeah,
it works very well.
So do we have any I mean, downloads, right? You know how many people are downloading?
We have the Google stats from the downloads from the Google Play Store, which is about 14,000 downloads.
Oh wow!
Much more downloads. We have 14,000 installations on active devices, and active devices are devices which have been used in the last month. So
has it kind of been a steady?
Use it.
Has it been like a steady growth? Have there been
steady growth?
Okay.
It's a flat line just going up, basically. So yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
And I guess there's other ways on Android, unlike iPhones. There's other ways to kind of download the software, right? It's not just through Google Store.
Yeah. So we have it on Google Play Store. A big topic for users at the beginning of Monerujo was also we don't want it on Google. We want to have Google free phones. So we have it on F-Droid, where we in the end decided to make our own F-Droid repository. So I can sign it with my own keys. So the APK, the app that you download from the Play Store, is the identical app you download from our F-Droid. And it's exactly the same APK that you can download from GitHub. So you can get it from GitHub, you can get it from F-Droid, you can get it from the Play Store. Yeah.
So you can confirm that you're downloading the correct code. Essentially, is what that means.
You can confirm that you're downloading the correct compiled version if you compare it to the GitHub APK, and on GitHub we also have the hashes of the binaries, so you can confirm that as well.
That's it. Because on iOS you really can't do that, right? There's
as far as I can tell, you can't really do that now. Yeah.
Right. That's interesting.
But I'm not an expert on iOS.
And then the other thing I heard you guys talking about was multisig. Is that something that's also soon?
That's hopefully sooner than soon.
Yeah.
I think that will be the next. After we get this node stuff sorted out, we can go to the multisig stuff. because the usability of that is a nightmare.
Yeah.
Technically, it's pretty simple, but the UI of exchanging the keys and key images after spending, I will see what magic these two guys here will come up with in the next couple of months. Yeah.
It's not only us, but as far as I understand the challenge that it has, it's also Dimi, right? Because taking into account like keeping things always decentralized and very private is very difficult to exchange. I am like the common guy right here to exchange the information between peers using between each peers using the Multisig wallet. So the easy way would be to have like a central server somehow, or central communication in a way that tells, okay, user A, user B sign in, so everything is okay. And we have to do it not only live, but also decentralized. And that is quite a challenge, especially if you want to make it for normal users.
Yeah.
So it's not only a UX challenge, but also like as far as I understand it, that's an infrastructure challenge.
But this challenge is the same for Monero Core, and as the way I understand it is that there's a lot of work being done exactly in this area to provide an infrastructure for exchanging information, especially for Multisig. So I talked to a couple of guys from Monero, and we decided to wait until that core work has been done, and then in Monerujo we can use that infrastructure for this exchange. And that will be, of course, soon.
Gustav, you were about to, I think, chime in over there.
Yeah. I'm struggling with who uses Multisig.
Yeah, it's a good question. What would be the use cases? What are you guys designing for? What's the why am I using Multisig on my mobile wallet? How's that coming into play?
We will see probably after we do it.
Yeah.
No, but
always the same. It's always the same.
Maybe this team could use the Multisig, for example. If we have a donation wallet and we have to approve a cost, so to speak. I guess that's the usage. I mean, or a big mafioso transaction between Mr. I don't know, drug deals.
Yeah,
I don't know.
No, I mean anything with an escrow in between uses Multisig. So perhaps even like something like local Monero can benefit from a mobile kind of experience, but it's a fringe case right now. I think
it's also not necessary that both users or all users, all Multisig parties are using Monerujo. So maybe one of them is using Monerujo, and the others are using whatever they're using. Yeah. So we need to account for that as well. And then escrow services can use this in this environment. Yeah.
How are you guys feeling about the general crypto environment right now? I mean, we've been in this bear trend for quite some time. Is that something you guys even think about, or you're just hunkering down and building your app?
Look at Dimi's face. Dimi's face is like, I don't care anything. I'm just coding.
Yeah, what are you
How much is it? How much is Monero right now? Like $4? I don't care. I don't care. Yeah. And the rest of us are like this, like weeping.
I have to sell diamond rings.
Yes.
I have to sell my gold.
I only have so many kids to sell their kidneys to that market. No. personally, it's not that I don't care, but really, it's like the weather. You cannot do anything about it. I don't trade. In practice, it's like I don't care. I would love to be to Monerujo, Monerujo, okay, our shares to go to the roof. But no, I would love to for Monero to go like $1,000 million. It would be awesome. But in the meantime, we have a lot of work to do. It's a reality.
Do you guys see some decent?
We have to be prepared.
Are you guys getting some decent donations coming in? Do you guys actively ask for donations other than just on your wallet? Do you ever do like the form funding on through the Monero system?
The donation situation is like a desert. And we have, or I have, a forum funding every, I think it's the third round now for 3 months, for a small share of what actually I'm doing, and the next round will involve the two designers, so that they get something for their efforts as well. Yeah. So I looked at it today, how much time I actually spent on this project. It's like 25 hours a week for the past. Well, I've got records since May, so that's quite something. So yes, it is a donation, and it makes me happy to get a thumbs up basically from the community saying, yeah, you're doing the right thing, you guys are doing the right thing, continue doing this. That's what it's like for me. And I'm really happy when something comes in. Yeah. And I'm really sad when it doesn't.
Well, anybody out there listening, I highly encourage you to donate. You guys are obviously, a critical component to the infrastructure of Monero, being the first open source wallet. And as you said, Android, I guess there's a lot more Android users out there. So you're a vital component to the ecosystem. So certainly encourage anybody who's thinking of donating to any project that you be high on that priority list.
Thanks.
Way high.
I guess that's part of the bear market too, right? I mean, when things are good, people are throwing their Monero around. Now, not so much.
Probably.
But I certainly believe it will grow into a much larger things as we proceed.
Yeah.
It's also a challenge with the way that Android works as well, that it doesn't allow you to monetize apps. I'd like to put a straight donate link there on the app. You have to do everything. Correct me if I'm wrong. You have to do everything through the App Store, and we don't want to make a paid app. So if they see you put a donate button in there, they just forbid the app from the App Store, and so it has to be pretty hidden and obscure, and that also, of course, impacts the reach that we have to our users.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Google Play actually kicked Monerujo off the App Store around Easter this year, I think it was.
Mm-hmm.
And without saying what or why, and trying to communicate with them was a bit difficult because of all the vacation days, and I don't know, it took a couple of days to actually figure out what was going on. And then we got rid of all the donation stuff in the app and put it up there again, and they accepted it, and it's still there for now. Yeah.
No, it's just the credits, right? It's not the donation address, right?
Now it's just the credits, yeah. Now we just have the credits.
So you have to go into our site to get the address or QR code.
Do you guys see there ever potentially being some kind of added business model, any other than just running off of donations? I mean, obviously you want to stay true to always being open source. Is there any way to
T-shirts?
Yes, buy the T-shirts.
Buy the T-shirts.
Or is it just as Monero grows, you grow?
Yeah.
I suppose so.
Yeah.
If 20 million people uses Monerujo and just 0.01% of them donates 1 XMR, we will be fine.
Yes.
Something like that. I don't know. But in the meantime, we have a lot of work to do again, and still, I mean, we've been a long road since we started. About Dimi even more, but since I started working on Monerujo, and I've seen a lot of changes, and I still think that we are just beginning to get it right and to get it really useful for people. The same happens with Monero as a whole, I think. So as people keep discovering it and adopting it and actually using Monero to buy stuff and not just to hold, Monerujo will find its place more and more again, because it's a wallet after all. It's a wallet that you have on your pocket to use Monero, right? So and with that regard, I think perhaps it's interesting if Dimi wants to talk about it. I don't know. The street mode that we recently add.
Oh, what's that?
The street, we introduced the street mode, which allows you to open the wallet in a street mode, which doesn't display your transactions, does not display your amount. It syncs up, and you can spend Monero, and you can receive Monero, and those are the only transactions that you see in the street mode. And cool. We have a couple of improvements on the street mode in the upcoming release in the next couple of days, where even if someone snatches your phone, they can't see your transactions, which are, right now you can turn it on and off just with a button. So that should see more use maybe of Monerujo because of this added security, where you can open up your wallet, spend your stuff, and no one can really tell how much you have or what you've been doing with it. And you can use it in a pub to buy a beer and don't have to watch out where are cameras or who's looking over my shoulder and that kind of stuff. So that's it's a nice feature.
That makes a lot of sense.
I think it's like the first feature that we followed like an actual use case before it being developed. Right?
Yes.
Like we know what this is going to be used for. We need it. So when you go to the HTTP or whatever, you can use Monerujo safely, and we develop from that.
Yeah, local Monero as well. If you're gonna do
right,
eye-to-eye transaction
with the mafia, like you said before.
Yeah, maybe mafia or could be Beyonce or
How about I often hear people talking about the issue with traveling and worried that their phone gets confiscated temporarily. What advice do you give for that if you're on the move with your Android wallet? Just to delete it and reinstall, or
we have a self-destruct button.
Actually, we do have a self-destruct button in a sense. In a sense. When you uninstall the app simply by saying uninstall, remove, it also, the Android system deletes those secret keys I was talking about earlier from the hardware device. So all your wallets become inaccessible. So even if you reinstall the app and people force you to give them your password, you still cannot open those wallets without the seed that you've written down, which would probably be at home and not in your pocket.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a security feature. Yes, people will know that you have had Monerujo installed, but that's because of the install history you have on your Android phone. So it's a bit difficult, maybe impossible to totally remove that easily.
Mm-hmm.
But no one, including yourself, will have access to your wallets. So it is a sort of real fail-safe. but please make sure you've written down your seeds as soon as you create your wallet.
Please.
That's number 2 problem that we get.
Yeah.
Like, I've lost my seed. Here's my public address. Please recover my funds.
Yeah. It's tough
Guys,
to be your own bank.
That stuff down.
Don't store your seeds in a place that you may get tortured. is your advice.
Yeah.
So so if somebody were to travel, the advice would be to obviously write down your seeds, you delete the app, and then you just reinstall and put the seeds back in and sync it back up.
Basically, yes. Yeah.
But don't carry the seed with you.
Yeah.
Right.
You would also
don't write down the seed.
Yeah.
What is
brain wallet.
Okay.
Well, there is a recovery password. So actually, when you reinstall the app, you could use the recovery password to get back into your wallet. So if you put the recovery password maybe in an encrypted area in a cloud or somewhere, you could, when you reinstall the app, you can get back into your wallet as if nothing had happened. So, but that's a bit of a, please practice this before you do something stupid. Yeah.
Well, what could go wrong in that scenario you're saying is?
If you haven't written down your seed, everything can go wrong. But it's a bit complex. You just have to practice stuff, like with everything in crypto in the end, so that you feel safe, because uninstalling the app, you will feel terrible, saying, what is going to happen now? So just so that you feel safer and that you know what you're doing. That's all. Yeah.
Write down your seed.
Write down your seed.
And then I guess also another thing to do, maybe write down the block height, right? So you're not installing from.
Yes, write down the block height. That's yes. We need to update the help files and maybe the creation screen of the app so that it also displays the block height that you've used. So a lot of people don't understand the block height, which seems obvious that they don't understand it. I understand them completely. And you just should write down, together with your seed, your block height, and then you have no problems recovering.
Right. So then you're not syncing from day one of Monero. You're syncing
day one or from the future. A lot of people sync from the future, so they restore their wallet, and then the amount is 0, and they're saying, "I've lost all my Monero."
Right.
So your block height or your date.
What's that?
You can also write down your date, the date that you.
Right.
That created the wall. If block height is too strange for you, or just pick like a month before or something like that when you restore it.
All right, gentlemen, I'm going to let you go because I know Monero Coffee Chat, I think, is starting up right now. We didn't plan this, but I think this is great. It's kind of like NFL Sundays over here. You go from one game to the next. But I really appreciate you coming on. It's been great. Like I said, I think you guys are a critical component to the Monero ecosystem. Keep up the good work. Thanks for staying so true to the core values of Monero. We really appreciate it, and I hope everybody does at some point reach out and donate even just a little bit. I mean, just if you look at the amount of Reddit users alone, everybody should just be tossing in a little bit to projects like this, projects like Cake Wallet. Just the real true open source utilities in the ecosystem. And thanks again. Hope to have you on in the future. Good luck with everything.
Thank you.
All right, fellas. I'm going to hang up.
Bye.
Bye.